Chapter 62. Midsummer night, so light. Can we once again feel delight? Or has it all been lost? Will I ever pay the full cost? It was midsummer, the biggest of Swedish feasts. Jenny and Kevan celebrated on an island in the archipelago with Agneta and other friends. Throughout the day, Jenny buzzed around Kevan, asked if she could help him tie his shoes, reminded him to walk carefully so he wouldn't fall on the rocks, asked if she could get him something else than the traditional schnapps since he didn't like booze. She kept on asking, he stopped listening. The others were setting the table outside and preparing the food while they stood by the water. Jenny with a can of beer in her hand and Kevan with a glass of coke. Stop it. You're my girlfriend, not my mother. She stopped mid-sentence. When she turned to look at him, really look at him, she saw something she hadn't seen in a long time. He was well again. His balance was better, and he could walk almost as stably as in the past. He couldn't hear well with his right ear, but enough to play with the band again if he moved his head to use the left ear more. The only visible mark from the assault was the scar along his right cheek. He was healthy, as recovered as he could be. Sorry, she hugged him. Sorry, I know. I'm your girlfriend and I'm behaving like an old mum. Sorry. He held her tightly. It had been so long since they had touched each other this way. She had barely dared to touch him, as if he were vulnerable and fragile and could break if she was not careful. He squeezed her hard. He didn't ever want to let her go. He wanted it to come back. The wonderful closeness and natural way of being they had had before that January night 6 months ago. He wanted the woman he loved back. A tear found its way through his closed eyelids, rolling down his cheek and down her back. I want what we once had back, he whispered. So do I. Believe me, so do I. I just don't know how. When he finally released her to go eat with the others, he felt as if the darkness was finally about to lift. He smiled and thought he saw an almost happy smile on her lips as well. But he couldn't be sure. It disappeared way too fast, the way it did nowadays. After eating herring and drinking schnapps, only after singing the schnapps songs, of course, they danced around a stick that one of the girls put up in the middle of the beach. The friends spread out over the island and enjoyed the bright midsummer night. Agneta, Jenny and Kevan cleared the table and chatted together. Suddenly Kevan and Jenny fell silent. Agneta was looking at them with a big smile. What? You're feeling a little bit better now. I can see it. They looked at her and then at each other. Maybe, finally, it can't be the way it used to be. Agneta laughed happily. Kevan's laugh joined hers. Then they both looked at Jenny, and their laughter died out. She was looking across the water with eyes that didn't see. Not like before, she whispered. Not like before. It was not until she saw their looks, their accusing looks, that she realized she had spoken out loud. But better, she said quickly. Of course it can get better. She fumbled with the plates and picked up a pile of plates to carry into the house. I'm sorry, she said, not really knowing what she was excusing herself for. She just felt that she had ruined something. Again. Agneta went to Kevan and hugged him when Jenny hurried towards the house. Neither of them said anything, but he leaned heavily against her. I can't make her smile anymore, he groaned. Nowadays no one can. I know, but that was, the whole point. He fell silent without explaining to Agneta what he meant. He thought about that evening, 2.5 years ago, when he had sung for his beloved Jenny after she had her heart broken by Peter. He remembered what he had promised her. He remembered what he had sung for her. I can make you start to smile. I can no longer do that. I can no longer make you smile.